go live. Let's go live. Let's go live to the scene. We got a reporter live at the scene. Lots to do today. I need the motivation, the kick to do it. All right, we get some comments, which is nice. Capture moments they have as stream markers. It said something. I don't know what it said. It said word. Why is my they changed something in YouTube Live? My counter is all the way to the top at the right, and it used to be to show me how many people were watching. It's crazy. This world is crazy. Just random things they just seem to like. We're just going to change these things. That is insane. All right, since I got nobody on, I'm going to get some edits in. I see what I did here. Instead of writing was an awful person, it's were awful people. People are people. It's chapter 19, though, of my editing. So that's something. If I can get this book edited. This is the final pass, by the way, for me. So there's only a few. It's mostly just some typos that were found. So once I get this done, I might put it up as a pre-order at some point. Next couple of days. It's going to be released on the 10th, Tuesday, March 10th, permafrost. So I will do that. There's the word there. Most of these are like word choice ones, or like a small typo or something. But if I can get this, finish the edits, I would definitely want to get this a pre-order up. I got the cover. Jack Wallen did a nice cover for it. Just another word. $21. Come on, 21. Okay. Who? Her name is Bernie, and it says Brunei. I mean, that's a really bad typo. And that one ain't even close. Okay, I got it. I got it. Good afternoon to you as well. 12:01, so it is afternoon. Legally, we are in the afternoon. There's Charlie. Charlie says morning. I just explained, Charlie, it's 12:01 here. It's afternoon. I guess for you it would be morning. So I'll accept your morning without prejudice. I'm going to change that to a pistol instead of a rifle. Chad Lusky, afternoon writers. Again, it's 12:02 now. Chad is correct. It is afternoon. That you didn't come in all totally wrong like Charlie. Chad says, what are you working on today, Armin? I'm working on Permafrost, the edits for this book. This is my sequel to the Dying Days series. I'm on chapter 22 of edits. I have no idea how many chapters this is off the top of my head. I'm trying to get all the last edits in. And then I'm probably going to put it up for pre-order. It's coming out the 10th, so in about 11 days or so. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. All right. Just 4 more chapters with no corrections. That's always nice. Chess says, wait, so an entire new series like a spinoff? So this I had for the last 4 years in my Patreon. And it's 30 years after the end of the 9-book Dying Days series. All right. No zombies in it. Just a post-apocalyptic thing with a couple of characters 30 years later with kids. And it's, yeah. And so that's coming out. And also then at some point this year, I've already finished the prequel to the Dying Days series that definitely has zombies. That's coming out. And I'm also writing another book, Carnifex, which takes place 30 years after this one, Permafrost. Because even though I'm not going to write horror anymore, it's zombie or post-apocalyptic, and I'm still making money with this, so I'm going to give this a shot. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. He says, finished High on Bigfoot last night. Hated that last chapter. I wanted more claustrophobic feeling with Buck, but I was entertained. As long as you were entertained, that's the key. Plus, I had to wrap it up. I was like, I'm running out of word count here, and I am not giving them anything extra. Lorraine says, hello, everyone. I decided to nickname you collectively as Armand's Brothers in honor of the Allman Brothers. I had all sisters. I like that. I like that a lot. They had years ago on Facebook, a bunch of my fans had put together a fan club page, and they called it Armand's Hammers. Keith says hello, Lorraine. Lorraine says hi back to Keith. Chess says, I'm probably the only one who actually looks like an Allman brother. that is very true. you definitely feel it. Chad looks like he's like the fill-in bass player for the Allman Brothers. You know, he's like the tour. He's one of the touring members of the band. He says, Chad, tonight I visit the Neon Owl. Charlie says we need shirts. Lorraine says, hi, Chad. Rocking the look, by the way. That's funny. So I'm good with edits all the way to chapter 26 now, which is really good, I think. Although I know there's another part where the editor was like, what is this? So I know I'm going to hit that snag at some point where I screwed something else up. The problem with writing these is I'm writing them like one chapter a month, usually. Sometimes I'll write maybe 2 chapters a month on this, but I'm really not pushing it. And so you get to that point where I forget things that I'm writing, especially when I'm like halfway through a chapter. All right, 26. No edits. 27. No edits. 28. Darn it, 28 has an edit. This looks like a typo, though. No, thank you, Mr. Spam Risk. Not interested. Got a lot of them yesterday. Tish in the house. Just giving a like and heading out to run some errands. I was on your page the other morning, Tish. I got up at like 7 o'clock and I left a comment on it. And then I did some writing while you were doing some writing. I hope I can get up early enough some mornings soon to hang out during your morning sprints, right? I'll leave your stream running for watch time. Thank you, Tish. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate that. We're doing like 2 hours now, so I appreciate that time. Thank you, Tish. Appreciate it. Have fun with those errands. What was this supposed to be? I guess that was bricks. I don't know. You don't even remember what you're writing. Lorenz says, "Have you never heard Tish? She has the most soothing." She does. That's the problem with Tish. It's 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, and she's talking, and she's like lulling me to sleep. I'm like, scream or something, Tish. Get some gravel in your voice. Tish would be good as a DJ, like on some smooth jazz station, because she's just very calm and relaxed. All right, this is Tish. This is Tish Bouvet. We're gonna play some Coltrane now. That's what you're. Lawrence is on the opposite end. This morning I woke up, and the only reason I rolled out of bed at like 9 o'clock was because one of the cats was in the bathroom rearranging their litter box like for like 15 minutes. And I'm like, just go to the bathroom. And the scraping, and she kept scraping the side of the litter box, and it woke me up, and I could not get back to sleep. And my wife had been up. I guess she had been up a bit because she was in Atlanta the last 2 days. She got home at like 10:30 last night, and then when she went to bed, she was out, back in her own bed. So she slept great. So she was up nice and early, her and the dog. And then she's like talking to me when I woke up, and I'm like, why are you talking to me? I don't want to be talked to. He says, geez, I've been up since 3:30 this morning. Why? What's the point of that? There is nothing good that can come out of being up at 3:30 in the morning. You know who's up at 3:30 in the morning? Robbers and thieves, pickpockets, the Amish. Like, so are you grumpy before your coffee? Like, yes. And here's the problem. I take Rebelsis in the morning. And so I got to wait 30 minutes before I can have my coffee. So, I'm like timing that out. I'm like, okay, it's 9:03. That means at 9:33, when you see me doing my coffee of the day video, it is literally 9:33 when I'm hitting that. And then several seconds later, I take a sip of that coffee. Do not bother me before then. Chess says, Arm, I noticed you have way more reviews for your newest thriller series, Coast, than you do for your Deed series. What do you create that to? Genre, covers, or ads? I'm going to tell you my secret, Chad. No clue. No friggin' clue. So my first Dirty Deeds has a lot of reviews, I seem to remember. But I don't really pay attention to reviews. I'll glance at it and go, I have 100 reviews or 5 reviews or 0, whatever. But I know I was doing a big push when I did that series. I know I was pushing those pretty hard, and they were spaced out pretty close to one another. So I think the rapid release for that series really helped as well. But otherwise, I have no idea. I know the covers definitely helped, because I sent Jack Wallen a bunch of covers. I was like, listen, this is like the top legitimate tropical author covers out there. And so I want something along these lines. So when he did those covers, I was like, I'm not going to overthink it. Perfect. That's what we're looking for. I'm not putting people on the cover, so it doesn't have to be what somebody looks like, blah, blah. It just got to be, it's got to look tropical. It's got to look like we're at the beach. Got to look like we're somewhere where there's water. Right, before 7 o'clock. I hate when I get up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock to go to the bathroom. My brain turns on, and I'm like, well, I'm up now. Keith says I write in the AM before heading to work. That's crazy. You know what? If it works for you, I can't do it. I can't get up usually that early because if I'm up that early, that means I got woken up and I'm annoyed. Or if I'm up that early, means we got to go somewhere. Oh, I signed up for this dumb book signing, and now I got to be up at 7 o'clock in the morning because we got to drive an hour and set up at 8 o'clock, and thing doesn't start till 10, and just so many problems. Lorraine says early start to a work day. Writing that early takes real dedication and willpower. Yeah, that I do not possess either of those things. Lorraine says early is my hardest challenge. Late night is so much easier for me. See, I'm old, so late night is like I'm in bed by 10:30, maybe 11 o'clock. I'm like, listen, I'll read till about midnight, but I need a good solid 8-9 hours of sleep. He says I don't write on the weekends. That time is for nurturing the marriage. Nice. I don't write on Saturdays usually because that's the only day my wife is home for the whole day. And tomorrow we're going to have company for dinner, which means that we're going to be doing spotless cleaning of the house, even though the house is clean. My wife also wanted me to tell all of you that I did not fold the blankets yesterday, like I said I was going to do. I did the dishes. I switched the laundry, but I did not fold all the blankets. We got like 47 blankets, throw blankets in the living room. I did not fold any of the blankets. My wife came home. I guess she had watched the video, and she's like, you didn't all the throw blankets. You didn't clean that up." And I'm like, "All right, whatever. My bad. It's just, what are you gonna do? You're gonna get changed in your pajamas. You're gonna sit down on the couch and wrap yourself in a couple of throw blankets. What does it matter?" Frank says, "Hey, gang," like hey, like horses. He's calling us horses. Everybody's saying hey to Frank. Lorraine says, "We don't have weekend time, so my husband and I binge watch shows after my youngest son falls asleep." That's good. Yesterday I watched, I caught up on Ozark Law and Desert Law and Alaska State Troopers. I watched last week's episodes of that. Plus, what else did I watch? I don't know. I watched something else. I just watch all the random shows that we have taped. Yeah, law, and law. Exactly. But I will not watch Law and Order. But I watch all I love all those shows. And then I had recorded a bunch of investigation discovery, like those one-offs. And then we got a couple of Curious Case of episodes from that. So there's a lot of different random stuff that I watch pretty much each and every night. Let's see, anything else on? Nope, 28. Rest of 28 is good. Here we go. 29, and she's got a bunch of comments on this. Yeah, I might be done. I might be like, yeah, I'm not going to do any more editing. Yeah, all right. But I'm almost done with the first half of that, so I guess that's something. For instance, we're watching season 9 of Blacklist. Should have stopped at season 8. I never saw that. Everybody keeps saying how great it is. I've just never watched it. The problem is the people who are saying how great it is are people that I don't normally ask for their advice on shows. Like her best friend and her husband, they'll watch her husband watches every single show that is out. And every show is, oh, really good. That's really good. And I'm like, no, it's not. Not everything is really good. Chad, here's Chad the professor says Blacklist is a great show. Spader is gold in everything he does, with or without hair. It isn't great. I just like James Spader. There you go. I will take Lorraine over Chad. Chad's giving me some stuff that I'm like, we're just not in stuff that he likes. I'm not a big fan of, and the same back and forth. So I get it. Lorraine says it's not great, Chad. Sorry, it's good, but it has issues, like Chad. I had hot dogs for lunch. I made hot dogs. I made 3 hot dogs. Chess, I've only seen the first season or two of Blacklist, but I too love Spader. Yeah, but then you say it's a great show, but you've only seen 1 or 2 seasons. When it's good, it's very, very good, but when it's bad, it's hard. Frank says, haven't an issue? Here's a tissue. Well, they got you working, Frank? They got you digging snow piles, moving it from one parking lot to the other? Frank is a poet. I mean, if nothing else, that man is a poet. My wife had to get snow removed at one of her buildings in Ohio, and it was like $20,000 to move all that snow. That's crazy. Just they just started Lie to Me this week. Good show, but has cringy moments too. Frank's like, working. Yeah. Yeah, the snow. What's Lie to Me besides a great Bon Jovi song? All right, I know what this is. Yeah, Tim Roth. I've never watched this. This is a show we see in the commercial, and I'm like, my wife would like this better. My wife likes more of these, like The Mentalist and Psych and all that crap. I guess it got canceled. Viewer complaints about the show losing its scientific edge and star Tim Roth becoming dissatisfied with the science focus, also contributing to its downfall. Plus, it's a Netflix, and then they just cancel everything. We watched the rest of that countdown show with the one of the pretty dudes from Supernatural, and it ends on a huge cliffhanger, and then there's no season 2. I'm like, oh. Right, says, I'm waiting for another Breaking Bad to impress me. We're about to start the next season of Dark Winds. How's Dark Winds? I've never seen that, but I like the guy who's in it. He plays an Indian cop or bad guy in pretty much every show. I like that guy, but we've never saw it. Keith says we started Ted season 1 after seeing a commercial for season 2. I'm getting my accent recharged. Yeah, there you go. I never saw the movies. I guess it was multiple movies, and holy crap, there's like 15 wasps sitting out on the bench out in front of my window. I am not going outside. Chad says you might like Ozark and Black Rabbit, Lorraine. 2 very good shows. Frank says, love the snow, love it hard. Take it out to dinner. Buy it something nice from Tiffany's. You got to buy snow, something nice from Tiffany's. Lorraine, I want to try Black Rabbit, but Ozark was too dark. I couldn't cheer for us all. That's kind of the point of that one, though. Like you hate everybody in it, but you love seeing their downfall. Black Rabbit is really good. Chet says you might not like Rabbit then. Yeah, it's also a little. If you thought Ozark was dark, Black Rabbit might be a little too dark for you too. I enjoyed Dark Winds a lot, but it wasn't on par with Breaking Bad. I never saw Breaking Bad. I never saw Better Call Saul. I never saw any of those motorcycle shows. I gotta be in the mood for something like that, and then I like binge watch them later. White Anglo-Saxon Protestants, great band, Wasp. Or he says, "Oh bummer, I like both the actors." It is a little dark though, like Ozark was. If you think that's dark, I don't think that's dark. I like that stuff. Chad says you're in for a treat with Breaking Bad, Armor, which I hadn't seen yet. I probably, gonna be honest with you, Chad. I probably will never see it. Just like I never saw Lost. Like after the fact, I'm like, man, I'm not interested. Key says Breaking Bad is still an all-time favorite of mine. Frank says I didn't think Ozark was dark per se. Neither did I, but obviously The Rain has slightly different tastes than Psychotic You or me. This is weird. They changed where the time is. I keep looking over here and I'm like, no, it just says there's 7 people on right now. But it's live. I've been 31, almost 32 minutes. E pluribus unum. I told you not to use profanity, Frank. Did you see Better Call Saul? No. Chad says you're a crime writer. It's the law that you have to watch Breaking You in the Way of Date Night Tonight. No. The problem is, as a crime writer, you see so many in the last couple of years, so many authors are writing basically their version of Breaking Bad. And I'm like, all right, enough with the meth lab stuff. Enough. My husband didn't think Ozark was too dark either, but I had to cut it loose. Frank said, it's all good, man. I feel like Frank just patted me on the back. Here's what I know, like all of you know. I ain't going to watch something just to watch it. And I'm not going to watch something because everybody else watched it. Now, there have been shows that I got excited about that I watched when, like Walking Dead. First season of Walking Dead, loved it. Zombie writer at that point, I'm in. Game of Thrones, that first started, I'm in. But I'm watching because I'm interested. I want to watch it. I'm not watching because everybody else is watching them. Like that has no bearing on me. And the people who are talking about how great a show is, I'm like, I don't care. Your opinion means nothing to me. I said, I can't believe I liked Breaking Bad as much as I did. My favorite to date. Key said, or crop dusted you. Yeah. One of those. Chad says, Breaking Bad breaks the 3-4 episode rule because you only need one episode. It's a rule for a reason. But usually if I like it right from the beginning, like Longmire or Justified, right from the first episode, I'm like, oh, this is a keeper. Frank said, I didn't start Ozark until a year or two after the final season. So then you have your own unbiased opinion of it. I really only started Ozark. I'm like, all right, let's watch this because of Mr. Bateman, and my wife is a huge fan, and I'm like, you know what, let's watch this. Jason Bateman couldn't even save Ozark for you. Wow. The wife I could not stand, and their kids I could not stand. I liked everybody else though. Have you seen Deadwood? No. Which one is Deadwood? Is it a? Let me look. Let me see what this is. Oh, it's a Civil War thing. Nah, I'm not interested in those. The only thing I like, what was it? Hell on Wheels. Remember that one? Building the railroad. That was a good show. With Common. It does have Timothy Olyphant in it, and I like him. No, I'm not really big on any shows that are what do you call it, that are set in a specific time period usually. Civil War, that might work for me. You know what? Deadwood is your show. It's a Western serial drama, crime drama. Frank says, plus I tried 2 episodes of Breaking Bad, gave up on it, but something Saul started and I got into it from the jump. Only after Saul ended did I go back and try Breaking Bad again successfully. If you like Hell on Wheels, you'll like Deadwood twice as much. I love when you give these blanket statements, Chad. I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm your friend. Usually, when you say something is good, I don't think it's as good as you think it is. So I'm going to say, based on that criteria, I'm going to have liked Hell on Wheels twice as much as that. Nothing personal. We just have different tastes. He says the actor for Justified's lead, which right? Yeah, and I like him. I like him in stuff. I'm not like Timothy Olyphant, and I gotta watch it because he's in it. But I do enjoy him in things. Lorraine says I love historical shows that don't get too artsy, fancy, stupid. Frank says I never watched The Sopranos. Neither have I. Lorraine says I like westerns and war movies, so these might work. I'm not a huge fan of westerns. Lorraine also never watched The Sopranos. Chess says, okay, I hear you, but give me some examples where I told you that you would like something that you didn't. Everything you've ever said. Lorraine says, Mafia, not my thing. See, Mafia is my thing. But for some reason, I know why I never watched The Sopranos, because at that point, I was back living with my parents, and my dad talked throughout every episode. Like I watched the first couple of episodes, and my dad talked through the whole thing because he grew up in Newark. You know, we grew up in New Jersey, and he was like, "Oh, that's Clifton Avenue. They're on Clifton Avenue right now." And I'm like, "Oh, I can't watch this if you're going to go through all that. No thanks." Frank says, yo, they better roll out a new season of Skinwalker Ranch before Trump ruins it all by revealing the secret of Skinwalker Ranch before the. I know. That would be, he'd be like, oh, here's the secret. It's just a television show. And then it'll lose all of its charm. Like, no. No, there really are Skinwalkers. My favorite series is 6 Feet Under, but I'd never recommend that to you. I've only recommended stuff that I think you'd like, and so far I've got a good track record with you. As long as you think you do. I never watched 6 Feet Under. There's a lot of shows I didn't watch. A lot of things I'm like, I don't want to watch any. I just don't want to watch anything. I don't watch a ton of television, despite you thinking I watched. Most of the time it's, live PD is on. I'm going to put it on and mute it, and I'm going to play my baseball game on my phone for 2 hours till my wife gets home. I did find out something interesting yesterday, and I'm sure Chad, I'm sure knows this already. But the what is it? No Country for Old Men, whatever that movie is in that book. Dragon is real. That's what they better say. Dragon is real. I hope Dragon comes back this season. No Country for Old Men, the book and the movie, references a judge being killed from 1979. Okay, John H. Wood Jr. was the judge. And it's referenced in the book and also in the movie because the movie is set in 1980. And in that movie, Woody Harrelson is in the movie. And if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, he gets killed by a cartel hitman. He's a sheriff or a U.S. Marshal, whatever he is. He gets killed. In real life, that judge, John H. Wood Jr., was killed in 1979 by Charles Void Harrelson, Woody Harrelson's dad. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that a crazy coincidence? I think it is. The same dad that apparently banged Matthew McConaughey's mom while she was on a break from Mr. McConaughey. Yeah, the Charles Void, no Void, Voyde, Void Harrelson, not Harrison. Void. Frank, if you have another child, male or female, doesn't matter. Void Edler, Voyde. That's that's a name that he's either going to be a bank robber or a baseball player. Now pitching for the New York Mets, Void Edler. Hopefully he'll be a lefty because then you can get more out of him. So there you go. That's something weird that I learned yesterday. Lorraine made a comment on one of my videos. I just commented back. Where am I going to write on now? Because I'm not. I'll do this. The House Next Door, which is a short story, about 700 words into it. I'm going to do some writing on this. Oh my God, moving the time thing is annoying. I just keep. I'm like, where? I don't know how long I've been on. Anybody doing anything exciting this weekend? It's 78 degrees here already today. It was like 60 something when I finally got out to do my things. It was supposed to be nice this weekend, but we're supposed to get some rain about 3 o'clock today. We're supposed to get rain, and it's supposed to last into the night. So for me, I'm like, you know what 3 o'clock means? 3 o'clock means lie down in bed and read some more of this book and fall asleep. Starting my pepper plants. Nice. Next in, speaking of great shows, been busy writing my Manimal fan fiction, aka season 2. We are all looking forward to reading that. Hopefully it's not. It's so nice tonight. My wife can go and finally plant her lemon tree because we're not supposed to get anything under like 60 at night here for like the next 15 days or so. Key says received the rejection from Horror Library for Nailbiter, but they said I could submit again, so I sent them the new one, Echo of a Giant. Wish me luck. Good luck, Keith. Fingers crossed. Chad says supposed to be 50 tree here today. The snow is gone again. Well, that's good. You don't have lingering snow. Lorraine says good luck, Keith. 53 is nice. As long as it's not like crazy windy off of the Great Lakes, I think you're fine. I watched the thing yesterday. I watched like Mysteries of the Abandoned. And they had a couple of things from Michigan. But I forgot to write them down. I was going to ask you if you knew what they were, Chad. One of them is like a building downtown that used to be the like Marine or Army or some military building giant building for many years, and now they're turning it into like a dance hall or something. I don't remember the other one. The other one was like on the like right on the water. I don't remember. I should have written them down. Frank says, I find if I don't submit my work anywhere, nobody can reject it. Little life hack there. You're welcome. Oh, I'm writing that one down. Frank says, I finished the Neon Owl. I never saw the pooper coming. Dance Hall Days Love. Exactly. We have Tall Mike and his fiance coming for dinner tomorrow night. Yeah, how I never ever get rejected. Make sure that's the name of the video. I'm hoping that the books that I put on order from the library come in. I'm supposed to be interviewing in May. I'm supposed to be interviewing an author for the library for their literature series. I was supposed to do Gabino Iglesias a few months ago, but she sent the email to the wrong thing, the wrong address. So I wasn't able to do that one. But now I'm doing this other. She's some thriller author, a Big Five publisher. She's doing like a whole tour of this book. And they're like, do you want to interview her? I'm like, sure. She's like, all right, here's her latest two books are these. And she talks about these books. Like, okay, cool. So I'm like, all right, let me get them from the library. But they're on hold. So I was like, well, maybe I'll get them. So far, I've not gotten them. He says, sorry, Frank, but these characters don't come alive until a reader breathes life into them. Frank says, oh, I thought you were going to say, but he punched you in the face before you could get the first question out. One of those. He was actually, me and Tom actually went and saw him speak. They let me do before he got there, they let me do the mic check because they felt bad that they screwed me out of it. But actually, the lady who did the interview with him did a great job because she had actually read the book, which I would have read if I was doing if I knew I was doing it. So it was interesting. He's not as big as he used to be, though. I'm going to be honest with you. He's big, but he's not as big. He was also very charming. Knew who I was right away. We talked about BK, all kinds of fun stuff. Hindsight is always 2020. Yeah, that's a great Megadeth lyric. I'm going to put an asterisk next to all his book titles now. There you go. That crazy galoot. Just I saw a panel with him on it. Spent a lot of time complaining about white people. Zero Saints, asterisk, written using performance enhancing substances. It's a Mark McGuire joke book. For some reason, you have Gabino in it. He is very, very proud of his Puerto Rican heritage. He also complained a lot about the horror community, both on stage and then when we talked to him afterwards, which I thought was funny. His attitude was basically the horror community is awful right now, and all these new people coming in, and all the good people have left, and all the bad people have stayed, and it's all just uh, a dumpster fire. Frank says, "Don't make me explain the joke." Oh, I didn't know it was a joke. Did he ask you why you were silent on so many issues? No, thankfully. And if he had said, "Oh, so you don't raise your voice or anything," I'm like, "Well, I don't. I'm against everything you believe in," is what I should have said. But no, he did walk up and he was like, "Yeah, I didn't know you lived down here." I'm like, 25 years. And then he kind of looked at Tom like, maybe I'm supposed to know you. I don't know. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" Shook his hand. The talk was good. Tom brought his copy of his book and had him sign it. I did not do that. Julio Iglesias is the best. Glad you met him. Oh my god, that guy was singing. He was serenading me. So nice. He was serenading me while I was sitting on Ricky Martin's lap. You don't get any better than that. I really haven't seen Gabino comment on much on stuff lately. I know he said he was writing a new. After that, he was going to be hunkering down and just teaching and then writing his next book. But he didn't have a he that was the last book he did, was the last one for a publisher. So I don't know if he signed a new contract or found the new publisher. I don't know. I like his stuff. You know, I like his. I've not read him yet. I like his short stories are really good. But that one with the cartel in Mexico, forget the name of it. That one was really good. Lorraine said, "I'd like to stay longer, but I have to work on my formatting and finish reading Sharp Objects for my book club video tomorrow. I'm behind with that thanks to Chad's book being more interesting." Good job, Chad. Lorraine, thank you for hanging out with us. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching my videos and helping out. Chad says, "Gabino gave me a nice blurb for the Pale White. I've only ever read Coyote songs. Didn't like it." Let me see which one I did like. I've only read a couple of his books. But I've read a lot of his short stories in various anthologies. So House of Bone and Rain, that was the one that he did the talk about. The Devil Takes You Home. That was the one I read. I really liked that one. He really likes red and green. He likes Mexican flag colors, apparently. And he's got a Wikipedia. Can't go wrong there. Barrio Noir. Yeah, he said that a couple times. I remember when I had a Wikipedia page at one point. Then they took it down. Ted says, "LOL. Thanks, Lorraine. Have a good weekend." You bet. Same to you. I hope everybody has a good weekend. I do. I do. I know Sunday morning I'll be hanging out with Peter Marsh, maybe Frank, maybe Chad, maybe Amanda. We'll get some writing in. I told Peter, I'm like, "Hey, Chad Lutsky is going to join us on Sunday morning." He's like, "Oh, this is growing. This is growing a lot." I'm like, "Well, You want me to stop inviting people? You want to be part of the crowd? Like, no, it's good. It's good. I don't know how big it's going to get. I said, well, considering you pay $45 a month for StreamYard, you can have 1,000 people in it. So relax. Chess says, I will 100% be there. Been looking forward to it. And we're looking forward to having you in. Nixon says, the Peter Marsh? Yes. Who you will be meeting in person at MondoCon. Because Nick, Peter, and Chuck have already paid for to be allowed to come to my house. I'm still waiting on Frank, Tom, and Amanda. Hopefully Amanda will be able to take the day. She's like, I could come like Saturday, Sunday. I'm like, no, you got to be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Nick says, will I be put to work again this year? I don't believe so, Nick. I don't believe so. You also get a room this year. Again. So Peter's the new guy. He gets to sleep on a couch. And if Tom wants to just come here and stay, he better he's also getting a couch. He's not getting a bedroom this year. I already told him. It's not fair for the people who are flying in or driving in. Jessica, could you do me a favor and announce who comes in the room when you live stream it? I want to know who I'm looking at. I didn't even realize I did not do that. So I will do that for you, Chad. I know Frank and Tom, though. Maybe you don't know them. Maybe this whole time you thought, oh, that's what Frank looks like. That's what Tom looks like. And it's opposite. Yeah, we'll definitely announce them. I thought maybe the year before, I was like, who are you? And tell me what you're doing. But I guess I just jumped right into what are you doing kind of thing. So there will only be 6 people invited this year coming. So everybody knows Chuck. I've been doing a little more on Substack lately. I'm just putting my YouTube videos on there, but just going back and forth with people. I think Charlie got me. Charlie's been writing some short stories, and I've been reading and enjoying them. Frank says, I'm a 3-foot tall Asian dwarf, which everybody knew. Chug lost himself some weight. Yeah, Chug lost a lot of weight. I'm wondering a year later if he's gained any of it back. But Chad says you hide your Asian well, Frank. He does, right? So it should be a slightly smaller group this year, but I think a better overall group of people who are actually writing and releasing books. And Nick Zinn. I don't think she can only cook. She's not only cooking for 6. I mean, there'll be 8 of us. She's still going to cook for 18. I think she's starting to get some ideas for the for what meals are going to be what meals. And then of course we're doing the we're going to do Whataburger. Let me look something up. Which is funny because Peter Marsh like, oh, I've never had Whataburger. This will be fun. I'm like, you live in Texas. He's like, oh yeah, there's one right down the street. I'm like, what? But you've never been. Nick says otherwise Amanda better have new people to bring food home to. Frank says 8 is enough to fill our lives with love. They do have a fish sandwich, Nick. What a catch! It's called What a Catch. That's a great name for a fish sandwich. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that's non-meat. I'm going to say no. Sides. Large French fries. They have applesauce. Onion rings. So there's plenty for you to eat, Nick. Bring some cash too. I ain't paying for all that crap. Their hot apple pies are not bad at all. I mean, they're not like old school McDonald's hot apple pies, but they're not bad at all. And they also have Welch's fruit chews or graham crackers. And they also have salads. I'm sure the salads are going to come. They have a Cobb salad and a garden salad. So either way, you're good. The burgers is where it's at. Triple meat, what a burger. I'm not getting the avocado bacon burger, though. They have a jalapeno and cheese, what a burger for Frank. So that's where we're going because my wife's like, I am not making lunch on Thursday for you guys. Just go get something. All right. You know what? We'll go to Whataburger because I never get to go to Whataburger because it's on the other side of town, which is like 20 minutes away. All right, I've done an hour. Let's do another hour. Talk about random things. I might do some more editing. Frank says I'm bringing my own peppers. You better be able to fly with those on the plane. I am not gonna have to bail you out with the U.S. Air Marshals. Bring it for you and Tom, and then you and Tom can be like, "These aren't hot at all," as you're both crying. All right. 29. I read the note. I'm like, oh, that's easy. Just instead of why can't we stay here? Why can't we go back there? Also, halfway through this chapter, they go into buildings, but there are no buildings. Well, here we are. All right. So I guess if there are no buildings, they can't then magically enter a building. Says you. Nick says, so in season 2 of Manimal, he starts to adapt to reptiles. Goes to Skinwalker Ranch to fight Dragon. I'm going to be 100% honest. He's losing if he's fighting Dragon. I would have him fight Eric first. I would have him fight Eric, Bard, that dork, or Travis. You are not getting over on Armand Dragon. I mean, that's the right word. I think retinue, right? Yeah, a group of advisors, assistants, someone accompanying. That's fine. You're using a fancy word. I could use a fancy word if I want. All right, so part 1 is done. So on to chapter 31. How many chapters are in this? 52 chapters. So I'm getting there. All right, chapter 31, no edits. 32, I see an edit. When is Skinwalker Ranch coming back? I want to see that. Let's turn this fan on again. Skinwalker Ranch, new season. It just says expected in summer 2026. The show's typical summer release pattern after season 6 aired in June 2025. Filming for season 7 was already underway in mid 2025, so they've already filmed the season. Chad says, Skinwalker Ranch reality TV or a doc or a fictional series based on the ranch? Chad, just don't watch it. You're just going to be upset. Did you watch the new Danny Trejo episode? I missed a segment. No, I don't think I did yet. I don't think I did. I'm looking forward to Skinwalker Ranch again so I can scream and yell at the television. I didn't watch the Danny Trejo one or the Lawrence Fishburne one this week yet, I think. Does anyone else in chat know before I Google it? It is it's a reality show. They film like it's a documentary, like everything they're finding and doing is real. So they basically do all kinds of experiments on the ranch, Chad. And a lot of the stuff that Bigelow originally supposedly did, and there's this invisible dome over the mesa and the triangle, and there's cattle mutilations. Although they haven't had cattle mutilations in a couple of seasons now. So there's stuff like that. They do all these scientific things. They have this team comes in with 200 drones that goes into the air, but then all of a sudden all the drones, every time they start losing their connection when they hit the invisible barrier and they fall to the earth, and then all kinds of LiDAR scans are wrong, and then they see orbs and flying saucers and all kinds of stuff. The one guy's like, "Oh my god, look at my phone, it's going nuts," and it's just displaying all this stuff. And then like the next season, he's like, "Look at my phone, it's going nuts," and I'm like, "That's literally the same pattern of things you played last year." But the one guy, Travis, is like some big scientist guy who supposedly everybody says is great and legit. And season 6, the Dragon was not there. Dragon is head of security. He had some family issues. I think the Skinwalkers got killed his wife and children. I think that's what I remember. Man, this freaking bumblebee out here is huge. There's like 1,000. This is like it's like flying insect world out here today. I have never gone outside. Chad, you would not like it because you do not like shows like this. Apparently, you apparently get very upset when I bring these up. So do not watch it, or watch the first 3 episodes. That's the rule. I feel like this thing is just hovering there looking at me. Give it the finger. Oh, it went away now. It knows. Nick says, Chad, just Google Dragon head of security and you'll see how serious the show is. Chad says, I'm really interested in the ranch because I know a lot about it, but I guess I'm wondering if they're taking facts and sensationalizing them for TV or if it's all real. Of course, every TV show is sensationalizing everything. That's why it's on television. There's a lot of very good information, and there's also a lot of very good history of the ranch that they are telling you. You just got to ignore some of the hokey stuff in it. It's like watching one of those ghost shows. It's like watching that Zach Baggins guy making something just touched me. You know, all those shows. They are in the TV is there so they can make money, not so you can find out facts. If I don't immediately lie down and read, I might watch that Danny Trejo one though, just so I have something to talk about with Nick. I will definitely not be on tomorrow. My wife will be home. We'll be cleaning the house for our dinner guests. But Sunday, in the afternoon, I probably more than likely will be on. All right, I'm the one who gets upset. I made one joke about reality TV versus fact-based podcasts, and you lose it and can't let it go. I can't let it go because you upset me so much, Chad. Yes. You just don't seem like you would be interested in those kinds of shows, to be honest with you. You're too much of a professor to just watch those shows for the enjoyment of it. The enjoyment of this is probably not real, but you know, it's fun to watch. It's fun because it's dumb. It's like watching a dumb movie. You're like, I know this is not real. I know this can't happen, but it's just fun to just watch it. Speaking of podcasts, there are a few Rogan episodes about the ranch. Very cool stuff. It is definitely interesting. If you can here's the thing, if you can calm down and be like, all right, I know this is made for television stupidity stuff. What is this? What's that? But you know what? It's enjoyable for the other facts, for the Native American facts and the other stuff. Then I think you would enjoy it. Just turn your brain off and watch it. You're probably right, and I understand it. It's for entertainment. Frank says, I'm reading Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I'm finding it difficult not to wonder if the author was having an affair while he was writing those words. Very distracting. I will never read another thing from that author or the mistress. Blow, Frank. Blow, funny blow, Frank. Don't seem like that career is going anywhere right now. Either of them, which I'm glad. Awful people. $34. I'm up to chapter 34 now. I might get this thing done. Yeah, Frank said he's not the one. I get very excited when I get edits back and I'm like, oh, there's nothing wrong with this chapter anywhere. This chapter is perfect. This is the greatest brilliant writing since some writer who wrote stuff brilliantly. That guy. That great writer, Henway. What's a Henway? About 6 pounds. Chess said, I've done book covers for both of them, which makes me feel very guilty because we all know who should have been doing those covers. Yep. And who did a lot of free covers for both of them. All right, 35. So we got another typo. Typos I can stand. It's when I get, oh, this doesn't make any sense. Those are the ones that I'm like, oh. And this freaking bumblebee he's buzzing around right outside my window, and I keep thinking somebody's walking around out there. And that's right. So ice is not spelled CIE, apparently. I'm glad I found that out now. And that got past beta readers, too. Are you still doing book covers, Chad? Are you doing the Matt Wilderson? He's not doing book covers, but then I'm not doing book covers anymore, but I made these 12 pre ones because I was bored. I don't think Matt went to AuthorCon this weekend. I did see some pictures this morning from the early birds coming in, and I'm like, I'm not trying to be. I don't want to hang out with any of these people. Half of them I don't even know. Who are these kids? I don't know these people. I don't want to be friends with any of them. It's not base feet, it's bare feet. Who's got base feet? Feet are like bass, like speakers, pounding out, boom, 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 boom. I'm not actively advertising, but if someone comes along, yeah, I'll do one. That's what I figured. That's why I figured you were working it. Second typo in chapter 38. Ugh. All right, I can see that one. So if I can get these edits done today, right? Although here we go, chapter 40, and we got a crap ton of notes on this one. He said, all right, I have a writing question about beta readers since you mentioned it and it reminded me. Go ahead. Kick it out there. Maybe we can all collectively answer it. But only one answer will probably be good. Frank's. When I asked friends to look over my first book, most passed and one guy said yes. I sent it to him and he never got to it. 2 years have passed and I had dinner with him and mentioned this. Okay. This is the setup. This is the setup for the story. He said to give it to him again and he'll look it over. My question is, should I bother? I would not. That friend is not a real friend. And besides, you got to find beta readers that read what you're writing, that are not writers. That's my thing. But you have to have people who are interested, people who want to read that book. You know, not somebody who's like, oh, let me just do this just to do it. I mean, it's 2 years. He hasn't read it in 2 years. He's going to read it now just to get it over with, and he's going to run through it as quick as he can, and he's going to give you a couple of dumb suggestions that probably don't mean anything. Is this a different book, or is this the book that already went to an editor? Anybody else want to jump in? Feel free to jump in. Come on. If it's already with an editor, then what are you looking at beta readers for? You do beta readers first to change it, then to give it to the editor. You're paying the editor to do the final run through of it. So at this point, don't worry about beta readers. If I was you, I would not even worry about a beta reader, especially one that 2 years later still hasn't even bothered to look at it and is like, oh yeah, send it to me again because I obviously deleted it because I don't really care about you. I hope you didn't buy him a dinner. Currently the first in a series, and I had beta readers before he brought it up. Chess, is there also the possibility that he didn't like the book and didn't want to hurt your feelings? Also, if you can find a beta reader who isn't a friend, that's much more helpful. All of that very true. Nick says I forgot I gave it to him. Apparently he deleted it. I would not worry about that person. What you really want is you really want to try to build up the beta readers. And at first, you're going to have a lot of garbage ones, and you're going to have other authors who want to rewrite your story in their voice, and you're going to have all kinds of dumb things going on. Nice. One of my books is came in from the library. One of my holds. Jill is Not Happy by Kara Rouda, Rouda. This is the woman I'm going to be talking with, interviewing in May. Very good. So I'll probably run over. Hopefully, one of the other books will also come in today, and I'll run over there tomorrow. I'll probably say to my wife, "Hey, why don't you take a ride with me up there, and then we'll go for some pecan waffles at Waffle House." Nick says, "Okay, I'll tell him to buzz off and go fly a kite, and then punch him right in the face. Just sock him one, or tie him down, strap him with a lot of dynamite, and put him in the park. Maybe kill two birds with one stone. Kill him, and you'll find the treasure." Chess is also trying not to get fans as beta readers either. No, they aren't. I've had many beta readers like, "Oh, this was great. I loved it." That does not help me at all. Frank says, "I'm a garbage beta reader." Well, if his book is garbage, maybe you'll like it. Nick says, "I had two beta readers that I liked, and one that scolded me about the story. Was angry she had to look up who Joan Jett was." Really? What is she, about 1,000 years old, or is she 6? Because really, if you're under 6 or over 96, that's the only way you don't know who Joan Jett was. That don't even make sense. Also, strap her down with dynamite, blow her up. Pa-pow. I think she was closer to 6. That does make sense. Chad says, "One of my best beta readers was a fellow writer I can't stand on a personal level. He berated me throughout with his notes. The next book I wrote, I had him beta again. Glutton for punishment." Frank says, "I've yet to find a decent beta reader for myself. Like Armand said, they're a fickle bunch." Yeah. I have like 15 right now, maybe 15. A pool of them that I've been using for many years, like 15 years now. And a lot of times, a lot of them are just like, "Yeah, no, I can't do it." I'm like, "Hey, no problem. I'll move to the next one." But I always like, be honest with me. If you don't think you can do it in this allotted time, I also give a time limit. Hey, I need this read in the next 4 weeks. I need this done by March 27th. Is there a possibility you can get this done? I've had a couple times where they're like, "Listen, I'm 2/3 of the way through this, but I got something that's coming up." I'm like, "Just give me what you got. I'll work with what you got. Show me what you're working with." Just so far, only the one book has officially come in. But I'm happy. Hopefully another one or two will come in today or tomorrow, and I can go pick them all up tomorrow. I also got to do. I'm going to do my Sunday video today. I don't know what the topic's going to be yet. I got to just kind of look at the list there. I know somebody asked me about who I pick for covers. Maybe I'll do one about that. And then disparage Chad Lutsky. You need to find someone who isn't afraid to be honest with you. Getting someone who just says that was awesome, good job. I never. Yeah, you can't use them. That doesn't help you. I always say, why am I yelling? I always say, I always say, I want to know what's wrong with it. If you like something, if something's really, really solid, tell me why that part was really solid. But otherwise, I want to know what's wrong with it because I would rather you and 3 other beta readers find the big glaring mistakes rather than 5 million people out there in the world who could read this book and give it a 1-star review because of that bad writing in it. Nick says, maybe I should ask Dragon. He's up to my standard. You know what? And he's probably home right now. Chance to do a beta reader topic for the video, Armand. I did a beta one. I did how I did my beta readers, I believe. Didn't I do one? I gotta look through all these. How I choose beta readers. I already did one. Thanks for watching that with Chad. It's 18 minutes long. It's got 2,391 views on that one. People are watching it. Charlie says, had to actually work for a bit. Did I miss anything? You missed a lot, Charlie. You're going to have to rewatch this 3 times. First of all, I got guesses on Chad's beta reader. It's either, here's Chad's 3 beta readers. You ready? Joe Lansdale, the lead singer of The Accused, John Bowden. Does it rhyme with Astrid Brevold? JL is the obvious choice, but I don't think it's him. Yeah, I think that love is probably one way. I know Chad doesn't want to hear that. Because that guy seems to love himself. Chad says, I think it got canceled or something and lost his job. Yes, he did a while ago. For posting all his political stuff. I guess for going into the school with political shirts on. And they said, basically, stop doing that. And he said, no, what to do about it? And then they did something about it. Frank said he is my 3rd guess. All right. I think that guy's mad at me for yelling at him for being serious on my dopey Facebook post. Yeah, he has a sense of humor, but not a great one. I do like that he really rips apart Tommy a lot. He always calls him out on his dumb posts. He wasn't ready for me. We don't normally interact. Chad says, no, Nick. Paul seems like a good guy. I met that guy who got fired at Nikon one year. He seems very intense in person. Like not a lot of laughing going on, you know. Not a lot of smiling. Frank says, I was hoping he'd take that guy to task for his hot sauce post. Yeah, I thought for sure he would have jumped in on that one. Chad says, so YouTube has allowed every single comment so far today until this one. I think it was more about celebrating that person's in school and spreading that vitriol. Yeah, I think that was exactly uh, that was the tipping point. But before that, he had done a lot of he had worn a couple of shirts uh, against the president and some other stuff. So I think it was just like it just kept piling on, kind of thing. I like ripping stuff and throwing it out. My dad always did that. Anytime he got mail, he didn't like he would rip it up into tiny little pieces. And have this giant pile of junk mail, little pieces, and he throw it in the garbage can. It saves space. I'm like, because garbage bags are so much money, and you're gaining so much space. Yeah, sometimes I don't throw I don't change the garbage for like a week, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'll buy you a bag of garbage bags, a box of them even. I wonder if he's even working now. Nick says, part of me is curious who this is about, but more of me knows it's nobody I know except for maybe their name. Yeah. Frank says, I like this talking around things, very 90s terrestrial radio. Yes. Just that I had a feeling YouTube would try and censor that name. Are we in the Soviet Union or what? Yes, we actually we're pretty darn close. I got a mail woman today, but she also looks like she just gave me a bunch of junk mail. She also looked up at the house, which probably means I haven't gone out there and grabbed the giant stack of junk mail in several days. He says he ripped it up because he didn't want personal information getting in anyone's hands. My parents did it too. Yeah, my dad was nuts like that. He would always be like, hey, do you have an email address? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I have to do this, but I don't want to get one and fill out any of my personal information. I'm like, what? And it was like something like really, he's like, yeah, I couldn't find an address. Like I want to get information about Pittsburgh or something. I'm like, just look it up on the internet. I don't want to do all that. Like you look at porn every day of your life. What do you think they're doing? Yeah, but I don't have email. I have nothing. I don't have credit card. I have nothing. All my information, nothing's on there. I'm like, yeah, what tell me the name. Tell me the name of it. But he didn't want to look it up online. He wanted them to send brochures and stuff, like we're still in the 70s. When we cleaned out his super van when my dad passed, there was like 900 brochures from. I'm like, when is he going to Alaska? Why is there 6 different brochures from like the 1980s up from Alaska? He's only had this van like 5 years. Why did he save stuff from like 40 years ago? They said maybe she's streaming you and was waiting for you to notice her working. Maybe. Imagine that breaking live. Interview the mail carrier. You know what? That would be amazing. I don't see a lot of YouTube channels doing that. Chess says, that sounds like John Bowden with shopping online or using PayPal. Oh, why John's all weird like that? I'm going to tell you, every time John posts anything him and his wife bought, I'm like, man, they find the creepiest, weirdest stuff ever. Their house must be nutty inside. Because it doesn't seem like there's like one normal thing in their entire house. I'll tell you what, this bumblebee is really annoying me. What do you sit down on the bench already or go away? Frank says, my mom tears up junk mail so nobody can get our address. I spent my childhood believing garbage dumps were loaded with people ripping open trash bags to get people's street addresses. That's what my dad thinks. They send him some kind of credit card offer or something. I mean, he is ripping that up into tiny shreds. And he's also like, On those, he'll cut them so it's like, here's the card the fake card you sent me. I'm going to cut up so you can't see each individual number, and then I'm going to mix it up. He put it on the table, and then he mixes it up with all the other ones, so you can't just glue them all these letters together. I'm like, what are you doing? You're like the Zodiac killer putting these together. I don't understand what you're doing. But every now and then I'm like, oh, and literally what that was an index card with my top 10 books from last year video that I did, I don't know, 2 months ago. That's just been sitting here. I'm like, sometimes I've got to clean some of this crap off my desk. Chaz says, yeah, they have unusual retro taste, vintage hillbilly stuff hanging all over the house. Yeah, it's just weird. You can get lost in the boating house and then die, and then they prop you up in a corner and put a blue scarf around your neck. Nick says, I mean, there's that guy looking for his lost hard drive with the Bitcoin password. Maybe while he's there, he's collecting all those other dresses. Yeah, did you see he finally gave up? He finally had to give up. I'm going to tell you, I would unalive, I think we're allowed to say that. I would unalive that girlfriend. So for those who don't know, this dude had bought a bunch of Bitcoin back in the beginning when it was worth like nothing. And it was on his hard drive. Then the hard drive crashed. But it was still fixable. So he put it in a drawer and he got a new computer. And then when he found out, oh my God, Bitcoin just went up like millions and millions of dollars. I'm like, I have like $10,000 I could cash this in. He opens the drawer, it's empty. His girlfriend had done cleaning in the house and saw it and thought it was garbage and threw it in the garbage weeks before. So then he had to go to he had to go to the dump. This is like in Sweden or something. And he tried to find, and of course he couldn't find it. There's millions of cubic feet of garbage. So then he wanted to. He's been for 10 years. He's been trying to get the town to let him, basically dig it up so he can find this thing. And basically they're saying no. And then he finally ran out of appeals and stuff. But it's like worth like billions of dollars now, and it's on his hard drive. But I'm like, I would strangle her. I mean, hopefully she at least feels bad about it. Hopefully she's at least, yeah, we can have sex anytime you want. I don't care if she's married to somebody else at this point. She still owes this guy. Frank says, lol, yeah. Nick says, I prefer only new hillbilly stuff. Yeah. Frank says, I always think John is posting old pictures from the 70s, but it's pictures of him from 5 minutes ago. Exactly, right? I'm like, where'd you get that creepy doll from? Oh, you just bought it. Frank says, ouch. Nick says, there's the sequel to Oak Island. At least we know there's something buried there. Yeah, which is also something they're never going to find. Frank says, hey, they found all the Atari ET cartridges that got dumped. True. But you know what? That township was like, yeah, you can dig. We don't care. The town this guy's in, he's like, no, you are not allowed to go into that dump. No one's allowed to dig in there. And I'm thinking, over the years, there's got to be people who have gone in there to try to find it. Even though I don't know what you would. I guess all the information would be in there, right? Because he's just basically looking for his password. I don't know. I would still be mad. I would still be mad. Why would you go into your boyfriend's drawer and go, oh, this is an old hard drive. I'm going to throw this out. How deep cleaning are you doing? Because you know what I would do at that point? I would take, if I found out she did that, I would take everything she owned and I would throw it in plastic bags and I would drive it to the dump and I would dump it. And she'd come home and she'd go, where are all my clothes? Oh, I didn't think you needed them anymore. I just did some spring cleaning like you did. You're the throat puncher. She seems like an awful person. I'm going to be honest with you. She just seems like an awful person. Chad says, John sends me care packages with books he finds secondhand because he knows my town no longer has used bookstores. One time he sent me a cutout of a kitten decoupaged on a piece of old wood from the 60s to hang on the wall. I think he did it as a joke because he knows I'd never hang it up. Frank says, so with crypto wallets, you get a 13-word pass key, that 13 random words that must be entered in a specific order. Find a piece of paper with 13 random words and you have someone's Bitcoin. Well, I'm going to look around my desk right now. I wonder how many Bitcoin at this point are out there that nobody has access to anymore. You know what I'm saying? Decoupage. I don't think I've ever heard that word. Look, I'm learning stuff today. Decoupage. The art of decorating surfaces in wood, glass, metal by adhering paper cutouts such as napkins, tissue paper, or rice paper, using a specialized sealant like Mod Podge. All right. New word of the day. I'm going to work it into one of these stories. Frank says, my wallet keys are locked safely away. Oh, there's a ton of lost Bitcoin out there. I'm sure there's so much Bitcoin that will never be cashed in or whatever. I don't know. My wife deals with that stuff. You know, back in the 60s, those heavily lacquered kittens and flowers and stuff on old orange oak wood that's an inch or two thick. Yes, that's what it is. Okay. That's what I figured it was. I get it now. You can probably Google that Bumber. What? Number. How much Bitcoin has been lost? Estimates suggest that between 2.3 million and 4 million Bitcoins are lost forever, representing roughly 11 to 19% of the total supply. Out of nearly 19.9 million mined, these coins are considered inaccessible due to lost privacy keys, forgotten passwords, or destroyed hardware, making the effective circulating supply much lower. Most studies place the number between 3 and 4 million, with some estimates citing 3.8 million, including significant amounts in early dormant wallets. Approximately 1.1 million Bitcoin are held in wallets associated with Bitcoin's creator, which have not moved since the project's inception. While not technically lost, the keys may exist, they are considered permanently out of circulation. With about 19.9 million Bitcoin mined as of early 2026, the effective circulating supply is actually closer to 15.5 to 16 million. Primarily, cause of loss is due to forgotten passwords, discarded hard drives, and deaths of owners without sharing access. Recovery, while most are gone, some specialized services estimate that a small percentage, around 2.5% of lost coins, might still be recoverable. There's a finite number of Bitcoins, so lost coins will actually raise the overall value. Yeah, because now you're 4 million Bitcoins lower at 20. So that's a big chunk. 19% of the Bitcoins are inaccessible. If you invested $1,000 in Bitcoin 10 years ago, 1,000 in Bitcoin in 2015, your investment would be worth $496,927. If you invested in 2010, 15 years ago, your investment would be worth $1.62 billion. That's what I would. That's what I would do. Sorry. Jess says Bitcoin. So it's like putting all your money in a bank made of balsa wood, or those biodegradable packaged peanuts that melt. Frank says there's also a lot of Bitcoin in cold wallets, which are wallets that have been totally disconnected from the internet. Yeah. So I would guess it's kind of like this is the way I look at it. It's like 1950s baseball cards. They only produced X number of them. In the 60s into the 70s, most of the moms out there threw those cards away. Or the cards got badly damaged. So you're looking at, okay, I got a 54 Mickey Mantle card. And say there was 100,000 of them made back then. Probably not even that many. And now there is 200 that are in perfect condition, maybe. So the value is only going to go up on those, the perceived value of people wanting them and not everybody being able to get them. Is there a, Frank would know, is there a specific is there a number of Bitcoins that they will have, or will it just keep growing? Thin it. Chazascolas, Frank, you're the one who wrote a book about it. No, that was Catcoin. That was they were worth way more than Bitcoin. So this is the AI overview. So as of early 2026, over 19.95 million Bitcoins have been mined, leaving approximately 1.5 million to be created. The total supply is capped at 21 million, with the final coins expected to be mined around the year 2140 due to the halving mechanism. I don't know what that is. Mining rewards decrease 50% roughly every 4 years, making the remaining coins increasingly difficult to produce. So over 95% of them have been mined already. So in the next 14 years, the last million, will be mined. So halving effect. After the 2024 halving. Why can't I talk today? I keep saying the same words over and they just sound like weird things I'm saying. The daily issuance of new Bitcoin dropped, reducing the speed at which the remaining million coins enter circulation. As new mining rewards decline, miners will increasingly rely on transaction fees for revenue rather than newly created Bitcoin. Nick says 2040. I can't wait that long. Yeah, but if you just start blowing up parks in Milwaukee, you'll get more. So they're saying once you hit that last million, the Bitcoin blockchain network will be extremely stable. But you can still do transaction fees. You can still buy people who are selling. Crazy. Nick, you have no patience, especially when it comes to Bitcoin. I love the Nextdoor app. Chad says, I'm probably going to be rich soon anyway. I got 2 emails from Brandon Anderson this week. Wanted to connect because he spent time reading my stuff. He wants to know what led me to start writing. Yeah, Brandon Sanderson, yeah. Good, good luck with that. This lady wrote I love Nextdoor app. So this lady wrote this post. It's all one sentence. No punctuation at all. I'm just going to read it verbatim. Before you all start coming for me on my post about me trying to find a bounce house for my child party who will only be turning 1 year old, yes, I do know he is young and possibly won't remember, but I do have other children coming to his party that I'm trying to plan, and he does have an older sibling. I'm trying to give my child the best and only the best. Where I came from was a bit hard for me and their dad growing up as children. We are both trying to give them what we didn't have growing up. So if I want to have a bounce house for my child at his party, that's what I be doing. It's not y'all money I'm spending. And then there's 7 apostrophes for no reason. It's my money. I will spend my money on whatever, how I please. Thank you very much. Apparently, she's coming on to jump ahead of everybody saying, why are you getting a bounce house for a 1-year-old? So she just came on like with a hot take. She writes almost like Frank, yeah, except for none of her words were misspelled, except for she couldn't put an apostrophe in front of anything. Like can't, you just C-A-N-T, like thieves can't, like the way thieves talk. I do love reading those. It's like the most illiterate people in your area are on there arguing about stuff. Constantly. Oh, good times. Oh, I'm almost at 2 hours again. And it's starting to get dark out. Too dark to see. Feels like I'm knocking on something. Not a ton of writing today. A lot of talking, though. I mean, I can't seem to shut up. I'm just going to let it so it gets so dark you don't even see me. Just darkness imprisoning me. It is 79 degrees out, though. Good times. I will not be on tomorrow. Everybody have a great Friday night, a great Saturday and night. I will maybe see you Sunday. Who can say? Monday, I can say. You will see me on Monday. Monday, which is going to be Monday, March 2nd. Nice. See you Sunday. Don't forget to send me a link. Who? I said who, as if I forgot already. I will definitely send everybody a link that asked. We can get some writing in Sunday, and I might get so much writing in. Although we do like to talk a bit, but at least we're talking not like this. We're talking at least seeing each other talking. So come looking pretty, Chad. You know what I'm saying? We're your Sunday best. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching all my videos. Put them all on in the background. Run some of the playlists. I broke 2,300 hours now. Yes, yeah, as of this morning, 2,300 hours. So I'm 1,700 hours from 4,000. So let's do this. Chances I'll wear pigtails. I would expect nothing less. See you later, Nick. See you later, Chad. See you later, everybody else. I appreciate it.